Hey, welcome to the DFS Build live stream here. If you're live with us, feel free to comment, ask questions, and we'll answer it as we go. If not, ignore that. Hopefully, we can help you out. If we do help you in any way, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and come join us in Discord. You can share your lineups and ask for extra advice. And of course, you get access there to our premium plays. $5.99 a month for those, for everything that we cover. Lots of NFL content coming out this week. And of course, this video, which is free to you. So the way we do this, we go game by game, highlighting the plays that we want to target and try to offer some advice along the way. All right, so first game is pretty good on paper. We just lost DeAndre Swift. You were telling me before we went live here. So that opens up value for Chicago. So who exactly is that we want to play? Or don't want to play.
It's Kyle Monangai. He's been the backup all season. R.I.P. Rashawn Johnson. It seems like Monangai is probably going to be the starter. I guess Johnson is now the backup. This is a murky situation, obviously. Like, we haven't seen Swift out of the lineup all year, so we don't know exactly how it'll go, but Swift was shaping up to be a really good play against the trash Cincinnati run defense. Monangai 4,600. I assume he's going to be extreme chalk, but cheap running backs like this in starting roles don't come around too often on this slate, especially. So I'm okay with it. I think it's fragile given, the uncertainty. Like, Monangai is not exactly an established NFL veteran, but given the matchup and all that, I'm fine with it.
I was just telling you before, and I'll say it again. I was really into DeAndre Swift. I knew he was questionable, but if he was going to be in, I liked him at 6-1. And now that he's out, I just feel like I'm getting a similar play. He's not at the same talent level as Swift is, but he's actually a pretty good running back, I think. Like, he was pretty productive when he had an expanded role the other week. And now he's 4-6 against the Bengals defense, who, by the way, are dead last against fantasy running backs, not just on the year, but also still over the last 4 weeks. So it's a really good matchup. And given the struggles of Caleb Williams and everything, I don't see any reason for them to just suddenly be like, nah, we're just going to throw it every play or something stupid like that. The only question really is going to be, do they give Kyle all the work here to the point where he's going to, smash for us? Because if they're going to split it with him and Rashawn Johnson, or just Kyle's the starter in name and the Rashawn comes in, that would be the worrisome thing for me. But at 4.6K, any risk that would be there is baked into it. The reality is, big roll, great matchup. It is a smash chalk play for me. But you did say it's an unproven thing too. So if you want to go away from it, he's going to be owned. I can't fault you for that. I'm just going to go eat it for sure. There is other good stuff to like in this game. Roma Dunze at 6-6. He has a good role for the Bears. Caleb Williams 5.7 against the Bengals passing offense. You could more than just fade or go underweight on Kyle Monangai. You could also leverage that ownership with a Bears passing stack. Colston Loveland at 3-3. He looks interesting as a tight end punt. And then, of course, you have who's the guy for the Bears who's Luther Burden. So he's also going to miss this game. So you're looking at Zacchaeus has a 3.3K value. You're looking at maybe even the resurrection of DJ Moore. I mean, call me crazy. A great matchup against the Bengals, the 51 total. There's a lot to like here.
Yeah, it's not fun. But I do think it is a really good value stack. Caleb under 6K, maybe without Swift, they just don't run it as often. It's not like Cincinnati's good against the pass either. I think they're 31st in EPA against the pass. So pretty much an equally good spot for the passing game. So I'm fine with Caleb. I'm fine with Dunze, DJ Moore. I think, like you said, is a really good value at 5.2 without Luther Burden. Zacchaeus, I'm getting to a lot as a 3,300 punt. Never loved that, but it's fine. He's explosive a little bit. Can get some stuff over the middle, maybe. I like the Loveland call. I think Komet is off the injury report, so we're probably not going to see 80% of the snaps for Loveland again, but he had been trending that way anyway at Komet's expense. So I'm okay with it. And then the Cincinnati side is also interesting. If Flacco is in, I think you can go right back to Chase. I think T. Higgins is okay. But Chase, as of now, looks like, as he always does, one of the best spends on the slate. I will have less faith if it's Jake Browning again, but I think he's still playable even with Browning.
Yeah, I think he's definitely playable, especially if the ownership kind of dips down. I feel like the Bears are a little bit of an underrated defense. They don't, shut people down, but it's not like the softest spot in the world. So if it's Flacco, I'm okay with it. I just think like you do have the Sun God, you do have Puka, you got a couple of guys in that second tier at wide receiver. I don't feel like Chase is the auto smash that he was recently. And then if you take Flacco out of the equation, we're going back to Jake Browning season. That feels like a season I would like to avoid. I'm going to hibernate during that one. It's just like it didn't work out. It didn't work out last time. So if we're forced to do that, I think that would be a good time to go away from Chase if he's going to be pretty owned, which it looks like he's going to be very owned. That said, it is Jamar Chase. He can take every touch to the house. So if you want to pay for him at 8.4K, I don't have a problem with that. I'm not really that interested in T. Higgins. 5.9 is a decent price, but again, the Browning thing is something we have to keep an eye on. Chase Brown at 5.9 is okay. Loved him last week and he smashed. I think he's okay. The price is good. The role is good. But again, if Flacco is out, because like the presence of Flacco has opened things up for the running game immensely. Like Brown has looked fantastic ever since they got Joe Flacco. And if they go back to Browning, I think it's going to revert right back to just absolute dog shit, right? So that would be very concerning for me. As things stand, we just got to wait and see on Flacco. If he's in, I'm okay with it, but not to me a big priority. But if he's out, it's a big stay away. Next game, Minnesota in Detroit. The Vikings are big 9-point dogs against the Lions here, even with JJ McCarthy back. I don't even know if that's an upgrade. Like McCarthy did not look good when he was in before. But on the Minnesota side, like I am interested in Justin Jefferson, kind of unowned, and the Lions are bad against wide receivers. So especially since the game script kind of goes towards Jetta's just getting a lot of volume. I mean, McCarthy can still get the ball to him. So the ceiling isn't.
Can he get the ball to him?
I don't know. Actually, I'm not. I'm hoping. Either. I think the matchup is good. I think we have discounted Jettas, and that's like kind of where I was looking at with like the second tier. Like yes, Puka, St. Brown, Chase all look great, but if you can get Justin Jefferson at like almost $1,000 cheaper and like similar production, that sounds pretty awesome. So I like him a lot at his current ownership.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I am just getting to the other guys more. Like there is a lot to pay up for in the slate. Monra in this game, like you said. I'm getting more Addison than Jefferson right now. That doesn't feel comfortable, but Addison is a deep threat. We've seen a ceiling from him. They can both get there in the same game. I don't know if this is the game where they'll do it. I do think McCarthy is a pretty good play at 4.9 just because he's cheap. And in theory, he can run. We haven't really seen a lot of it, but I think he did have a rushing score in his first game when he the only quarter in which he looked good against Chicago, I think in week 1. So he's cheap enough to stack with Jefferson and or Addison. For Addison as of now. I think the Lions, it's a great spot. Minnesota's been getting crushed by running backs all season long. Looks like Jahmyr Gibbs not really pulling ownership, which seems like a mistake at 8K. You have BT, you have C-Mac in a great spot. There is other stuff on the slate to pay for, but if Gibbs is going to fly under the radar, which it looks like he will right now, I will just be pretty substantially over the field on that.
Yeah, I cannot confirm or deny whether or not Jahmyr Gibbs is in my GPP picks right up for this week, but I like him a lot too. He's way too low owned. I don't think the matchup with Minnesota is like a cakewalk matchup. They have a very good defense, but I do think just the fact that like I don't trust JJ McCarthy in the offense fully, and they are 9-point favorites at home. I think those things really lead to Jahmyr Gibbs having probably a pretty good day, and he's coming off a 39-point fantasy outing. Like the ceiling for Jahmyr Gibbs is insane. You're saving $2,000 compared to JT, and you're saving almost $1,000 compared to C-Mac. And I love C-Mac, and I'm always okay with JT, but those guys are really expensive, and you can get basically that same production probably for way less. So I'm very, very interested in going over on him. If you want to do like the Goff St. Brown thing, that's okay. Goff's price has come down. Again, I don't really like the matchup that much. I think when we're looking at value, like Gibbs is a better value than St. Brown in this spot. Goff at 6K feels like a lot compared to some other value guys. Like you mentioned McCarthy. Like I feel like McCarthy is a better play. But you can do that if you want to. Like St. Brown is quite productive.
Yeah, I think Laporta is also worth a shout at 4.3. Sure. Like pretty uneven production from him, but we have seen him find the end zone on occasion. So I think you can do worse with a cheapish tight end. I'm much more on Gibbs than I am on the passing game, though. Minnesota's defense has just been much worse against the run, so don't mind attacking that.
Absolutely. All right, next game, Carolina in Green Bay. Carolina Panthers are big 12-point dogs. They get Bryce Young back, so there's that. I actually think this is a bit of a trap game for the Packers. And I am a Packers fan, and I hate to say that. They just had a very high emotional thing going against Aaron Rodgers last week, going into Pittsburgh and getting that win. And then next week, they have a big game with the defending champion Eagles. So I think they still win this game, but it's just a classic trap spot. So I'm not that eager to stack up on the Packers. Plus, Josh Jacobs is like midweek questionable. He split the workload last week with Emmanuel Wilson. I don't really like that much here. If I did anything in this game, it would be Josh Jacobs, but he's really expensive, and maybe taking a chance on Wilson due to the savings there. But it feels like a game that I'm just going to avoid.
Yeah, big spread. Panthers are awful. Packers have injury stuff. Like I think Jacobs is okay if he's in, just because but we don't know about the workload. Like you said, he split last week. He's been banged up. He's been sick. There's a lot going on there. Good enough spot. It's just hard to prioritize him when you have Gibbs and C-Mac and Taylor and stuff. Kraft is always fine. Like tight end is.
Yeah, I was gonna say I do like Kraft. Panthers are bad against tight ends.
Yeah, so like Kraft is a one-off, or like the Panthers defense is 2K flat, so maybe that. But
I do like that.
That's kind of it.
Yeah, I think that's just going to be like, do I need the Panthers at 2K flat? Like if I get to the point where I'm just loading up on all these guys that I feel pretty good about, and all I have is 2K, and there's Carolina, I'm okay with it. By the way, their defense is like pretty capable. Like it's not a bad defense. And if I'm right about the trap thing, I can see Green Bay like squeaking out like a 20-16 win. So like Panthers don't get obliterated here or anything necessarily. And even if they do, they're 2K flat. Who gives a shit? We've had many instances this year where like we punted with the defense and they get like -4 and we can still cash with that. So I think the risk is worth it on this slate. Denver and Houston, this game is disgusting. This is a 39 total. Houston's at home. They are 1-point favorites. I think both defenses are worth firing up in this game. I suppose there is offensive talent here, so you could make a case for like a Nico or Bo Nix or something, but the game total says it all for me. Like this game feels absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot more Denver than the field, but that's not a lot. Like no one's playing Denver at all. It's not a good spot. It isn't a dome, I guess, so that's worth noting. I have a lot of Troy Franklin at 4.9. Bo Nix pairing with him at 6.4. I think that's okay. Definitely a large field play. You're not playing Denver and Houston in single entry or anything like that. The Texans defense at 2.9, like that's an elite defense under 3K. And Bo Nix, he can be turnover prone. So I'm good with that. Denver at 3.2 to a lesser extent is okay. Yeah, Evan Ingram maybe 3.9, like fine. He's been a little bit better since a rough start, but really not getting to Houston, getting to a sprinkle of Denver, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll backfire, but I'm just looking at the defenses for the most part here. Both these defenses are top 3 against fantasy quarterbacks, and they're both top 10 against fantasy running backs. Like they're not giving up a lot of production. So you can always exploit that. A matchup in low total and just be like, yeah, I'm just going to stack the game anyways because it has talented players in it. It's just not something I'm going to do. All right, Atlanta and New England. The Falcons are in New England, and they are 6-point dogs. You got Bijan, who will probably get 50 fantasy points after screwing everybody last week. 6 fantasy points. How dare you, Bijan? How dare you? He really sunk me. That really, really sucked because he was chalky too. Like you eat 8.8K chalk Bijan. He gets you 6.8 fantasy points. What the hell was that? By the way, against the Dolphins are terrible. Like what is? Anyways, I digress. So Bijan projects well. Probably not going to be like that owned because of the price and the existence of other guys that look like they're in better spots. So you could certainly do that if you want to in tournaments. I don't feel obligated to do that. And then I guess you could play Drake London, Kyle Pitts. The Patriots are bottom 10 against tight ends. I don't really like any of it, to be honest.
Yeah, Pitts is the guy I have the most. I think it's just a factor of tight end being tight end. So at 4-2,
Yeah.
I think he's okay. Drake London is back. Don't really know about Penix is playing.
I mean, after Kirk did literally nothing, I think they're gonna really rush him back.
Yeah, not that it's much better though. Like I don't really have a whole lot of interest in anything. Ramondre's out, so maybe like it's Travion Henderson week. I don't really want to bank on that though. He's been quite horrible so far.
I mean, it
But
might be.
without Stevenson there, maybe he's okay.
He's been terrible. Like,
Yeah,
he looks like he doesn't even know how to play running back. I know he's very
which
fast
is weird.
and very
It's like
explosive.
in the preseason we saw like he looked pretty good.
Kind of reminds me of that one dude from Ohio State. Remember that Trey? Was it Trey Smith?
Trey Smith. I don't know. I remember Troy Smith, the quarterback.
No, Trey something. Trey Simon.
Oh, Trey Sermon.
Trey Sermon. Damn it. Oh, I had Trey. So he was super explosive, super productive with the Buckeyes, and then like come to the NFL, even in the 49ers system, he couldn't do shit. So I don't know. Maybe just like in college, it's easier to just like find the running lane and like your speed wins. But in the NFL, like if you can't actually find holes, you suck. That makes sense. Anyways, 4-9. He's 4-9. No Stevenson. I'm game for that. I don't mind it, especially if Kyle Monangai is going to be really chalky and Henderson maybe isn't. I don't know where the ownership is right now because it updated and is gone. But I'd be down for that. Drake May is always in play. Falcons defense, like every week, decides to be either absolutely horrible or like freaking elite. So I don't know what to make of that. But it is Drake May who is just like putting together a murderous row of absolutely awesome games. He just is really good. So
it's funny because everyone got on the Drake May bandwagon after his worst game of the season against Buffalo, and they were like, "Oh my god, this guy's such a star." And he is.
Yeah, that didn't make that much sense though.
To hop on just because they beat Buffalo, but
right, he wasn't even that good. Yeah, he wasn't even that good in that game.
No, like by far his worst game of the year.
12 points.
I think he's okay. I think Diggs at 5.7 is interesting as a one-off, probably. We got news that Rico Dowdle is going to start and get the bulk of Carolina's carries. He's 5,800 in that Panthers game. I think it's fine, just given how productive he's been, and the salary's okay, but the matchup's brutal. They're big underdogs on the road. If the Rico thing leads to significant ownership, I think you can come in under that. But if he is low owned, I think that's worth a shout.
If he doesn't come in with ownership, though, like I said, man, trap game. I could totally see Rico coming in just churning out 200 yards against the Packers for no reason other than to piss me off in real life and fantasy. But yeah, not a ton to like here. I guess you could consider paying all the way up for the Patriots defense if Kirk starts again. But I don't know. You know me, I like to punt defense if I can. So Panthers. All right, 49ers in New York against the Giants. C-Mac looks like a god. He was terrible last week against, I think it was your Texans, right? Did not do anything. I would imagine he's in for a bounce back, especially since the Giants are woeful against running backs on the year. Yeah, they're bottom 10. I think I knew that already without looking. Just wanted to confirm. Juwan Jennings, 4.3K with no Ricky Pearsall. That looks pretty good. Kittle is there, though. He's 4.8. He looks okay. I think Juwan Jennings looks like a really good value here. But C-Mac's the play. Like if you have the money and you feel good about it, like I do, I think paying up for McCaffrey is one of the easier clicks of the slate.
Yep, he's my highest exposed player by a mile at 8,800. I think that's totally fine. Hope he doesn't go like Bijan did last week, but I have.
Or hope he doesn't go like C-Mac did last week. Let's not have two horrendous games.
The Giants are a horrible run defense, so he hasn't been a great runner this season, but I think this is a spot where he can potentially get it going. If Purdy's playing, I like Kittle a bit. Like he's not even that expensive. Certainly prefer it with Purdy to Mac Jones, so hopefully we get that situation. And I do have some interest in some of the Giants, like no Scattaboo. Not really the run game, but I do think the Giants are probably going to fall behind in this game. Doesn't have a huge spread. It's 2.5. So New York is in a pretty decent spot. The Niner defense is quite banged up. Jackson Dart at 5.2. There's rushing upside there. I think that's a pretty interesting play. Theo Johnson as a semi-punt tight end. Wandale 5,100. Obviously, no neighbors, of course. So I kind of like the Giants
Still
side, the
dead.
passing attack, as a run back with C-Mac on the other side, or Kittle.
Yeah, I don't know if you're going to be happy to hear this or you're just going to get scared off the Giants now, but I love the Giants. The 49ers have had a lot of injuries on defense, and on the year they've been okay, but over the last 4 weeks, they've been bottom 10 against fantasy quarterbacks and fantasy running backs. Tyrone Tracy looks awesome with no Scadaboo. Jackson Dart at 5.2K looks awesome. Even if factor in a negative game script, who cares? He's got the rushing floor, and the matchup is actually not that bad. So those guys both look great. Wandale at 5-1. Like, I don't know. Hey, man, C-Mac on the other side, maybe Juwan Jennings or Kittle, and then you run back with like Dart, Tracy, Wandale. It feels gross. It does a little bit. But like, that's crazy savings and like rock solid plays. They project okay, and Dart actually has quite a ceiling. So I like him a lot. That's where I'm at right now.
I agree.
All right. Yep. Awesome. So next up, we got Colts visiting the Steelers. The Steelers are kind of falling apart here. 2 losses in a row. Offense has been pretty good, but the defense has not been good. They've given up 30-plus points in all 3 of their losses on the year. So not shocking that they lost those games. JT, almost 10K. He looks great. Steelers are not particularly good at anything defensively this season. So if you want to pay all the way up for him, you can. I don't think it's super necessary when you have C-Mac and Bijan $1,000 cheaper, plus Gibbs $2,000 cheaper. But, I mean, JT gets like 30 to 40 points every damn week, so you certainly can play him. Daniel Jones and Tyler Warren is where I would go if I'm going to target Colts. I think Tyler Warren looks really good at 5.5. The Steelers are not good against tight ends, and they're not great against fantasy quarterbacks. And DJ gets – even when JT gets 30 to 40 points, DJ has like 22 fantasy points every week. So and there's still a ceiling there. Like it feels like he's just getting, what he's going to get. He's picking up the scraps and he's still getting numbers. So Colts as a whole look really good.
Yeah. Seems like Jones never really gets more expensive. Like he's been kind of hovering around 6K for a month.
Look at this game
I think it's still attackable. Like even without a ton of rushing stuff, he's still getting there. Passing attack's been really good. Obviously not in a dome this week, but Pittsburgh's defense we've seen get gashed pretty routinely. They're not what they were built up to be. So I like that. I like the Warren call.
It's like somebody's playing a game of Madden.
Yeah.
It's like I put it on rookie and it was just like, look at my stats for my Madden season.
Yeah, I'm quite under on him. Well, I don't know. He's not really projecting for a lot of ownership at nearly 10K.
No, he's not. He's kind of a contrarian play.
Yeah, I don't know if that'll hold. Like people just see the game logs and think that he's just an auto smash, and maybe he is. But I'm just playing the cheaper guys. Like C-Mac for 1,000 less is egregious, I think.
Yeah.
So I'll just play that and hope that he doesn't go full Bijan this week. I think Metcalf at 5,500 on the other side is really good.
Sure.
Colts run a lot of zone. The Steelers, Aaron Rodgers has been picking zone apart for 20 years. So happy to do that. Not really playing Rodgers, but I do think Metcalf at 5.5 is just too cheap. Jalen Warren at 5.5 also projecting for quite a bit of ownership, which is a bit frightening. But the Colts defense hasn't really been lights out either. Yeah. I don't think I want to play a super chalk Jalen Warren with all the other stuff we've talked about. Like the non-guys can take some of that. Maybe Rico takes some of that now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Travion Henderson, once that update for that news, gets some. So I don't know if he'll be mega chalk. I think he's okay. But if he is mega chalk, I don't mind being under on that.
No, Colts have honestly been kind of good against running backs. So, but it's mostly it's an ownership thing. I like Warren as a player. I like the price. And overall, this game environment looks pretty good. But I don't like 25 to 30% Jalen Warren. I'd rather save $1,000 with these other guys we're talking about, or pivot to Rico if Warren's going to eat that ownership. But I'm not going to play 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers because he has no rushing floor. So if he doesn't light them up, then it's going to be brutal. But he's looked really good like all year. Like the Steelers offense is not the problem. Like they do need things to go just right to like be in games and like win. But they're not losing because Aaron Rodgers isn't playing well. So he can definitely put up numbers. But I agree. If I'm going to do anything here, it's going to be DK. Like DK still has a high volume role. The matchup is good, and 5.5K for the upside he possesses is just way too cheap. So he looks really, really good. Only downside, I guess, is he'll carry a little bit of ownership, but I don't really care about that. Chargers against the Titans. They are big 9-point favorites in Tennessee, as they should be. They will definitely shit the bed just because that's just what the Chargers do. But in a vacuum on paper, they look amazing. Kamani Vidal looks awesome. I like him a lot at 6.3K. The Titans have been bad at everything. I guess the only thing they're good at is stopping tight ends. So maybe Gadsden isn't really that appealing now that his price tag's elevated. You could certainly talk me into Justin Herbert and Charger stacks, but at 6'8", like he's been like not like meeting his expectation enough this year that I'd rather just play 6'3" Vidal and just do something else in the passing game. But like they all look good. Everything looks pretty good here.
Yeah, I agree with Vidal. I think the 6,300 salary might scare people away, but
I don't know why. That's a great price.
Yeah, he's just come on Vidal, so like he's not a household name. But
yeah, but that role is fantastic though. In the matchup,
yeah, he plays 3/4 of the snaps last week. Titans horrible run defense, so I'm with you. I'm much more on that than I am the passing game. I think the passing game's always fine. Like it's just hard to figure that out, especially now that Gadsden's a thing. Like they have 4 guys who could break the slate essentially. Good luck picking which ones you want to stack with Herbert. So like if you want to roll the dice on Allen, McConkey, Quentin Johnston, Gadsden, fine. Gadsden's expensive now. So no one's going to play him. I don't think you really have to play him. On the other side, like Titans defense, 2,300, sure, whatever. Io Manners under 4K, still has an okay role, but I have any faith in the Tennessee offense to do anything whatsoever.
No. Yeah, Ladd is still only 6K. Like it's just like good luck picking which one does it, but Ladd feels cheap. If I land on Ladd, that's okay. I don't feel super confident in anybody else. Quentin Johnston, he's not in the game log from last week because he didn't get a single target.
That's
what
problematic.
The hell is that?
Problematic.
It's not good. So anytime we have like a situation like that where it's just like they all look good, I feel like I'm just going to not really gravitate towards that. So it's Vidal or bust for me on the Chargers. On the other side, that's no. Nothing looks good for the Titans. All right, Saints in LA. They are 14-point dogs. Tyler Shuck is making his debut, taking over for Spencer Rattler, which, by the way, Rattler was not bad. So I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, that was
he's not the reason.
I guess they felt like they had to rush Shuck because he's like 35 years old, so they couldn't just have him on the bench forever.
Okay, yeah. I think
know.
they probably, you know what? That's actually a good point. They probably were like, okay, Rattler can play. We're like 1-6. We'll put him on the back burner. Let's see if Shuck can play. And then if Shuck can't play, we'll kick him to the curb and maybe roll with Rattler or a pick next year. But whatever the case, Shuck is being thrown to the wolves. Rams defense looks great. I guess based off a game script, you could entertain a cheap Shuck with like Olave or Rashid Shaheed. I'm not doing that. I'm not particularly interested in Alvin Kamara in this spot either. The only perk is all these guys are cheap, and Olave tends to get fed targets. But now that this is changing, can we even be sure that Olave will get to have the same like PPR volume that he was getting with Rattler? Like, I would imagine this is a pretty steep downgrade actually under center for the Saints. So I don't want anything to do with that. Is there any Saints guys that you actually want to play?
Olave is 6,100 now, so not really. Like he was 5K for the first half of the season or whatever. So he's been priced appropriately. It's a brutal spot. They are big underdogs, so like they will have to throw. But I don't really feel like chasing that on a big slate with plenty of other things to like in the mid range. So not really into that. I think Kyron Williams on the other side is a fine play. Like the game script is pretty obvious. They're huge favorites. They are happy to run clock when they get a big lead. They don't really fuck around with, running up the score. Typically, they kind of did last time against Jacksonville, but I think they just wanted to get Stafford his 5th touchdown in that game. So Puka's back, 8,500. He's been a machine, but he is coming off an injury that kept him out for a game or two. Don't really feel great about it, but he's someone you can always play in a tournament, especially if he's going to fly under the radar, which it looks like he will.
I feel amazing about Puka this week. Give you a couple of reasons why. Number one, he's only missed one game. They had a bye week the other week. This dude is within striking distance of the NFL record if he keeps his torrid pace of receptions in a season. You better believe they want him to get that. And obviously, he's just a key part of their offense. Titans are terrible across the board. There's nothing about the matchup that is scary. The only thing is he's 8.5K and he's coming off an injury, but he's honestly rested for 2 weeks now. So there's really no actual worry there for me. The other thing is he's leverage on Kyron Williams, who's coming to a 27% ownership. If that ownership is going to hold, I just have a lot of reasons to really be interested in what looks like an unowned Puka or low-owned Puka. And Jamar Chase at basically the same price, and the Sun God basically the same price. They're both pretty owned, and Puka is like way less owned than them. So I love Puka. Like I don't have a problem with those other guys, obviously, but Puka was coming in and putting up 25 to 30 fantasy points every game in his sleep. And he gets what did I say, Titans before? He gets the Saints. It's the Saints. They're not any better. Yeah, he looks awesome. I'm okay with Kyron Williams. I just think Puka as a leverage play makes a lot more sense. I don't need to stack him with Stafford. Puka naked there is totally fine, and that's probably
Devontae also like Devontae for large field is pretty sneaky. He's getting really expensive with Puka
7.5
out for that game.
Yeah,
but if he gets a couple of touchdowns, which is certainly within the range of outcomes, he can kind of break the slate potentially at 0 or 5% ownership. I don't even know if it'll be that high. Not that you really need leverage on Puka. Like I don't think Puka is going to be owned enough to make Adams a leverage play, but I do think there's a case to be made for both of them individually.
Sure. All right, we got Jaguars and Raiders in Las Vegas. I actually do like this game a little bit. We have no Travis Hunter, who is shaping up to be a chalky value play at 4.7K, especially when they just said, oh, he's going to be our first read on passing plays, and now he's on injured reserve. So, okay.
Yeah.
Brian Thomas Jr. instantly is back in the conversation at 6.2. The Raiders are not good defensively, so he looks good. Etienne at 5.6, I think that's okay. Trevor Lawrence is okay at 5.4. Then you can look at like Parker Washington, Diane Brown, 3.7, 3.8K. Like these guys are going to have roles. Good luck figuring out which one's going to hit. But I will say I do like them a little bit more than BTJ, just because like we had the trade rumors. He's like banged up. He has not really been consistently productive. So I would not be shocked at all if one of these cheap Jaguars guys ends up like absolutely nuking. My money right now is on Diane Brown, but you just never know.
Yeah, I think I'd rather play Brown than Washington. He's just been more involved generally all year, and they're pretty much the same price. Yeah, I think he's fine. Hunter being out is going to make him pretty owned, I would think, just kind of stepping into a bigger role, but pretty good play. I think I feel better about that than I do as a case, for example, among the punt receivers we've talked about. I do think Thomas, even with the injury, assuming he plays, is pretty interesting if they're going to go back to him being the first read, if he even ever was the first read. It doesn't really seem like it. But the Raiders, do not stop anybody. They give up tons of big plays downfield. He's 6,200 in a dome against Las Vegas. If the trade rumors are real, which I'm skeptical of, but if they want to showcase him, this is a pretty good spot to do it without Travis Hunter. So I think I have more interest in Thomas than I expected based on the random Hunter injury. Still not a core play at all, but I think it's pretty interesting though.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely immense talent, and he has opportunity now. On the other side, you could always talk me into Ashton Genty at 6.7K. Not really a guy I'm prioritizing, but he's definitely in play. I love a Geno Smith and Brock Bowers stack. The Jaguars are kind of like the Panthers. Every now and then they will look good defensively, but overall in the year, they have not been great defensively. They give up production to kind of everybody, specifically quarterbacks and tight ends. But Bowers hasn't been healthy, and he got the bye week, and he was shut down for a week or two. He's 5K. He opened the season at 6.6K. And the matchup is good. And now coming out of the bye, Geno's been dreadful. 10 or under 10 fantasy points in 3 straight games. But he's 4.6K now. I don't know, man. I really like, in the name of Cam Ward, I like a Raiders stack here in the passing game. Geno and Brock. You can certainly entertain Jacoby Myers and Trey Tucker as well. But I think it's just too good to pass up. I think we're going to get a Brock Nuke game, and he's not even going to be owned.
Yeah, I don't know why he wouldn't be owned. He's 5K, like you said. Like, he's vastly underpriced. He's the
Yeah.
best tight end in the league. He's fully
Mm-hmm.
healthy now, allegedly, coming off the bye. So I'm all in on that. I would play
Yeah.
him in all formats, well over the projected 9% ownership. I feel like that might come up, but
Maybe, but even
clearly a
so.
misprice. I mean, yeah, I don't care what the ownership is. He's okay.
Yeah.
And I have about 9% Geno on his 2% ownership. So I'm with you on that. He's cheap, easy to pair him with Bowers, and then kind of load up everywhere else. I think Jacoby Myers is a Ponzi scheme perpetuated by the industry as a whole that I don't want to be in on at all,
Yeah, I
especially because he
agree.
still wants to be traded, and it seems like he's kind of half-assed out there. So kind of
Mm-hmm.
just Bowers and Geno and move right along.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think they're going to do what they should have done all along is just feed Brock the ball. And they kind of tried to a little bit, but he wasn't healthy, and now he's healthy. So that's exciting. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but I'm definitely going to try it. Perhaps the game of the week and the last game is in Buffalo, KC, and the Bills. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes, Rashee Rice stacks. Those are looking fairly chalky. Xavier Worthy at 5-6 is an interesting leverage play for the third week in a row. I'll continue to be wrong about that, and Rice will just get 25 fantasy points. But still, I think Xavier Worthy is a good GPP play and a good leverage play. And of course, with no Isaiah Pacheco, you could do the Kareem Hunt dance or Brashard Smith. Both are viable at 4.2 and 4.7K. Don't think we have to because we have other value at running back. But the Chiefs do look awesome. Like, the Chiefs look like a Super Bowl team again. So you could fire up any and all of the guys I just said, and I would be like, okay.
Yeah, I think they are my highest owned stack. Yeah, slightly ahead of the Giants, which feels good. I have
Giants and
nothing to add. Like,
Raiders.
Mahomes looks like old Mahomes all of a sudden, so I'm happy to
Yeah.
pay 71 for him. Kelsey's been finding the end zone. He's 4,600, so I think two tight end builds are very viable this week. Like, Bowers
Oh,
is
yeah.
cheap, Kelsey's pretty cheap. Rashee Rice is in about half my lineups at 7,600. Far Cry the 5,600 was 2 weeks ago, but he's earned it.
Mm-hmm.
The role's massive. I agree with the Worthy thing. It's not the kind of play that's going to pay off very often, but when it does, I think it can win you the entire slate. So I'm fine with that. And then running it back with James Cook, 7,200. Monster upside we saw last week again. Not a good spot. Like, last week's matchup was far easier against Carolina, obviously, but the upside's there. He's not really projecting for any ownership. So this is a pretty expensive but high upside game stack that I like a lot.
Yeah, I think, by the way, Xavier Worthy is basically KC's Jameson Williams, and Rashee Rice is their sun god. Like, that's the way we need to look at it. You can get leverage on it, and I'm gonna still try to do it. But on a week-to-week basis, it's kind of stupid. Like, you probably should just play Mahomes and Rice, right? I do think Josh Allen's a pretty damn interesting pivot away from a chalky Mahomes. Mahomes coming in at like 10+% ownership, and Allen has a better rushing floor. He's projected. I think he's projected to lose the game. Yeah, 2-point dogs at home. It's just a huge game. Like, I can't imagine either side not showing up. So I like the idea of a very unowned Josh Allen just feasting here. James Cook is totally in play. I think I'd run Josh Allen naked though if I'm gonna pay for Josh Allen. Don't really see it need. I would just kind of, if I'm gonna play Josh Allen, I would probably still go get some Chiefs guys though. Just because I think if Josh Allen's gonna get there, it's probably a shootout. So going like Rashee,
It has a really high total. The Bills are
yeah,
slight underdogs, I think, at home. So
yeah,
like, you don't really feel comfortable pairing Allen with the receivers anyway. Like, maybe
no,
Kincaid, but don't love that. So Allen by himself is fully capable of getting there without bringing anyone along,
as he often does. All right, that is going to do it for us. Hopefully this helps you out, gives you an idea of where we are at, and just touches on some plays that maybe you were not thinking about playing. Hopefully it helps you. If it did, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, come join us in Discord. Discord is free. These videos are free. You can show your support with the likes and the subscribes and the coming out and hanging out in Discord. If you want to support even further, you can head to our site, dfsbuild.com. Just $5.99 for the month for all the premium content that we do push out. All right, thanks for watching and good luck.